Welcome to Leveling Up the Podcast with Alethia Tucker. I'm so happy that you're listening today. My goal is to bring something new, something promising. I plan to bring conversation, resources, and wisdom around the things that are holding us back from going for our best. We'll talk about everyday life and careers. I'll bring us dialogue designed to dig deep and identify our passions. We'll talk about the limits that you need to let go of and the promise that you need to grab a hold of. I'll interview women who bring valuable insight to the table. We'll have opportunities for Q&A, and we'll talk resources to help along the way. There are levels to this, and we'll hit them all, starting at the ground floor. We all have dreams, and now is our time to level up.
Ground floor.
You know, it's been several years since we were plagued by COVID. However, many of the things that happened during that time really still affect many people. We all know that we lost the lives of so many people because of how there was really no solution, there was no answer, there was no vaccine early on, and there was just no way of knowing how to treat people at that time. Not only did COVID, however, take the lives of people who were ill, but COVID really did stymie many people in the world, period. And it wasn't, like I said, just because of the illness, but because of what it did to the economy and how we all had to react. As you know, we could not go out, and when we finally did go out, we were wearing masks. But for a very long time, we weren't able to go into stores. We were doing things online. We were getting food delivered, and there were only certain companies, certain businesses, vital companies that were open, and many businesses went under. Some statistics came out around that time as well, or as a result shortly thereafter, of the effects that COVID had on the economy and basically what people thought and how buying patterns changed and how service expectations changed. I know Accenture did a study and found that nearly 76% of people weren't as loyal to products that they were loyal to if they were going to get good service elsewhere, if they could get that product quicker. We became a lot more anxious and we lost patience in many instances. And what has resulted because of that is we have really already turned into a society that was a microwave society all along, but we're even more so one now. We want everything quickly. We don't want to wait for anything. What is even more interesting from around that time period is that on the business side, if you did not learn how to adapt, chances were your company went under and there was no way to come back from it. That makes you think about what it is that you go through in life and how sometimes life really throws a curveball at you. And if you don't know how to adapt, there's a very good chance that you could go under and not survive. Those who knew how to bring in technology, for example, to handle things that their employees could not get in to handle. For example, that's when automated systems really became important, and them being able to answer phones and answer frequently asked questions that either personnel weren't able to do or were just inundated because they were getting so many calls and so many emails. What is it that you would do if you were thrown a real wrench in life? How is it? What plan do you have in place to bounce back? What I want you to know is that the bounce back is possible. So often we want to give up without really thinking that we stand a chance. I want you to know that you stand a chance with a backup, Always have a plan in place. Always know that you can overcome even the most difficult of circumstances with a little knowledge, with plugging into your journey, with relying on resources that you do have access to. So, your affirmation: when life throws me boomerangs and I feel like things will not ever be the same and I won't be able to survive this storm, I will know that I can plug into my resources, that there is hope, that there is a solution. It may not be the perfect one for me, but it is a one that will be perfect for the time that I have the situation occurring. I can rise above my circumstances, even in the most dire of times, and I can be successful.
Main level.
Hello and welcome to Leveling Up the Podcast with Alethia Tucker. We are still here at the Leadership Experience Tour, and I am speaking today with someone very, very special, first of all. He is my friend. He is also very near, dear, intimately involved with the Leadership Experience Tour. Sometimes he's really happy about it, sometimes he's not so happy about it.
Sometimes.
But none other than Mr. Wright Mentality himself, Marcus Wright, Marcus D. Wright. It's important, I'm sorry, A, not A. Marcus, I mean not D, Marcus A. Wright. And he says it's very important to put that in there because you don't want to confuse him with any other Marcus Wright. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you.
You don't understand how much of an honor and a pleasure it is to be here with my friend Alethia. I mean, you know, when we met when you first came
First of all,
to
let's
the
make
tour,
sure you have this. I forgot.
even when you
All
met
excited.
the first few years ago that you came to the tour, and the sunshine and the love and the passion and the presence that you bring
Thank
has always been great. And I love my friend, her husband,
love
Melissa
my
Tucker. That's
friend.
my boy.
Well, Marcus, listen, oh my goodness. Well, first of all, before we even get to the Leadership Experience Tour, tell us a little about what you do. All right.
Okay.
Let's start there. I know Leadership Experience Tour is important, but that's just a piece of what he does. That's not what Marcus Wright really, really does. So let's hear.
So I have a company. The name of my company is Wright Mentality. And I am an emotional intelligence, adaptability intelligence, neurolinguistic programming, as well as DISC certified. And I do understand Myers-Briggs. So I help people with behaviors, emotions, adapting to changes. I help companies understand how their teams can work better together, because there's a shift in the world right now. And if you're not ready to adapt, and if you don't have the right emotions, and if you don't know how to control your emotions, you can be a detriment to yourself, to the company. And I help people to understand how to regulate that and take steps back so that they can be ready for whatever challenge occurs.
Yes, awesome. And that's so needed. You hear a lot about emotional intelligence right now. I want to make sure that our mic is operating and it looks like we're okay. But you hear so much about emotional intelligence right now, and there are some people who don't understand the significance of it. What are some of the things that emotional intelligence basically leads us to, helps us to summarize, helps us to make sure that we understand all that's going on in the room, being able to read the room.
Well, first of all, let me just give it a definition to understand it. Emotional intelligence is one of the simplest things in the world, but one of the most difficult things in the world to do. The definition, just paraphrasing, it's the ability for you to understand your emotions, to be able to regulate your emotions, but to also to be able to understand someone else's emotions and to be able to listen to them as they're talking about how they feel.
Yes.
The biggest thing is empathy. But before you can get to empathy, you must have self-awareness. If you don't know you, you can't move forward in life because you're hindering yourself. Understanding you is one of the most important things that you can do for you. Self-awareness is the first, and in my opinion, the most important key to emotional intelligence. Without it, how can I regulate myself? how can I even understand what I can and cannot do?
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard you talk about empathy, and we people sometimes misunderstand what the whole empathy piece of it is. And it's more than just saying I understand, but it's the listening part of it. And it's, making sure that you are connecting, of course, all of the stuff that needs to happen when you're being empathetic. It's to someone who is unfamiliar with this, all right? I know that you do coaching programs, for example. Tell us a little about your coaching program.
Well, I have a 6 month and a 1 year coaching program, and what I do in my coaching program is we do the first module is self discovery. We get you an assessment. I get you to fill it out, do it, and then it helps me to be centered and help you because now I have a true understanding of how you are from an emotional perspective. And a lot of people, and me included at one point in my life, when you're talking to people, we don't show a lot of empathy. But you know what's interesting? There is a loved one in your life, whether it's a best friend, somebody you love, your mom, your dad, sister, brother, cousin. You are the most empathetic to those people, the ones that you're the closest to. But we don't take that and transition to other people that we deal with every day. So in my program, we go through all of that. And it's a very, very deep program. And here's why it's deep. When you're going through the program, I'm going to be honest with you. I let you know I'm going to ask you the most difficult, deep questions that you probably never thought about. And we got to start to do some work to peel the onion back so that we can make sure that we're okay, to begin to get to a point where we're ready for us being more emotionally intelligent and us being more self-aware.
Wow, that's good. So that we can make sure that we're ready.
Yes.
Because, like you said, emotional intelligence in this day and age is just a critical part
Yes, it is.
of what we do. So we really do need to be ready. Now, I know that you've also been traveling and doing training in corporations, doing trainings, in various companies. What are some of the things that you've been dealing with, or what have you been training on?
The biggest thing is emotional intelligence leadership,
Okay.
leading with emotional intelligence. I just finished at a company. I did a training for their leaders, helping their leaders to work on their own personal emotions, but to also be more empathetic to their employees. Because when you're listening to your employee, and I'm not saying that employees don't try to, get over, because we all try to do that every now and then. But getting to understand what your employee is going through so that you can help them. Because remember, when each of us are working, we're dealing with other people, whatever corporation we're at. So, for example, when you go to the Apple store, if you're an Apple fan, or even an Android store, you're actually talking to that salesperson about the product that you want to buy. Here's the key, though. If they didn't listen to you, if they didn't pay attention to you, if they just said, you need to buy this one, that's not listening, that's not being empathetic, that's not being a salesperson. So getting the company that I worked with to help them to understand that their employees need to recognize that when their customers come in.
That's good. That's good. And I know you've been traveling quite a bit, and it sounds like these companies have brought you out and they're bringing you back and bringing you back. They realize the value of this information, right? They realize the value.
Listen, we have new episodes of Leveling Up the Podcast coming out. There are levels to this, and we're going to hit them all, starting from the ground floor up. Stay tuned. Loads of episodes coming to you.
All right, so we've talked about your programs. Tell me this. I know just a little birdie has told me something about a book in the making. Tell me a little something about
So
what's
the
going
book
on
is
there.
done.
Okay.
It's out of editing and everything. It's finished. It's going over soon to get printed.
Okay.
It's called the Wright Mentality Strategy.
Yes.
And it's about transforming your organization, looking at it from an emotional intelligence and an adaptability intelligence perspective. And I take people through a lot of different things with examples. The first chapter is having the right vision.
Yeah.
The right vision for you, but the right vision for your company.
Yeah.
The other one, and I'm not going to give you more than that, there's one in there that's called Right Mentality Leadership. How to lead with the right mentality. So the book is coming. It will be out probably within the next couple of weeks. We will be able to get it from Amazon. You will also be able to get it from our website. So
Okay.
we're going to be going. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to write it, but I finally did it.
Yeah. And I know a little about. I mean, I've been on this journey with him a bit. I know he's been working hard, very intentional about what he's putting in there. So it's something you're definitely going to want to plug into. It's going to help you in this area that he's talking about right now to get smart, to get better, to get tuned in. So we're going to make sure that you stay connected with him so you can find out how to get the book because it's coming out soon. He's already told you it's going to be on Amazon and it's going to be on his website. We'll make sure you have the information needed to get that. Now, there is another thing that you hit that's been a little controversial around here in particular. And he has a new show that is launching. He is going into this with his partner that he's partners with for Sean Fair. And the name of the show is What's Fair and Right and What's Right. And there's been a little discrepancy on that title there. But tell us, what is this about? This sounds phenomenal.
So I got to first ask the viewers and listeners. I'm just going to ask you, think about it for a second, okay? Should it be what's fair and what's right? Or should it be what's right and what's fair? I mean, I'm just putting it out there,
The question. Answer in the notes below. I'll go ahead and take the poll for him. And go ahead and respond. We'll put it in social media and stuff. Y'all let us know. Because this has been an ongoing debate since
Yes, it has.
the show has been announced. All right? This has been an ongoing debate. So we want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Let him know what you think.
So this show is going to be real talk, no fluff, no excuses, and it's going to be us bringing things to you. We're going to be probably interviewing some folks, but we're also going to be asking people that when you actually get on the show and talk about what you're doing, we want you to be able to have a scenario. The scenario is whatever you're going through. So, for example, for me, from an emotional intelligence perspective, using EQ, I will probably talk about a situation that I've been in my workplace or my personal life, and then I'll be asking myself, was it fair? Was it right? Which one was it? And then I'm going to give the synopsis for it. So we're looking for people that would love to be on the show to do that, because this is an aspect that's never been looked at, because we don't as individuals look at what's really going on and saying, do we do the right thing? Was it fair in what we did? Am I at the right job? Is it treating me fair? And we don't want you to talk about your companies and naming them and bosses and things like that. But we want you to talk about you and what do you think you can do to improve you, and if it's the right thing to do, is it the fair thing to do, is it the fair thing to do, is it the right thing to do?
Right. That's good. That's intriguing. I mean, that alone will pull people because people are interested in fair and right. And we're living in a world now where right isn't always right, is it? And fair certainly doesn't always come to the forefront of things. So I think it's an intriguing topic. I think it's an intriguing theme. It's a show you're definitely going to want to tune into. So where are they going to be able to watch this?
So we're having auditions, and what I'll do is I'll make sure Ms. Tucker has the information, and she can send it out to you guys, so you definitely audition to be on the show. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we haven't launched it just yet. It's coming really, really soon. We're like this closer. It's very close to coming out.
Yeah. They've been putting all the hype out about it, and the excitement is there. So you guys definitely want to make sure that you tune in. All right. So now here comes Let. Tell me about Let and your involvement with Let. What is it that you do here for the Leadership Experience Tour?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. Lord. Well, to be straight honest, I am, Sean and I came up with the concept of this, I don't know, 10 or 11 years ago. Yeah, Sean Fair is the CEO. He's the founder of the Leadership Experience Tour. I've been with him since day one. We've worked through it. I am actually the Chief Operations Officer. What I do is I put everything on, the entire production, working with all our technical teams, making the layout the way that it is, working with the speakers, just like Sean, to ensure that we prepare them for being on stage. We talk through them, we coach them, we help them with their message, and that's what we do here. And I do a lot of other things at the Leadership Experience Tour. So,
Wow. And let me tell you, when he says a lot, it's a lot. Being this, the chief operations officer, the chief, operations officer for this, and making sure all the logistics are pulled together is a monumental task. If you've ever been to this event, and he does it not just for this, but for many of the things that are done that Sean Fair does across the country, well, even outside of the country. He orchestrates this as well. So to find out more about the Leadership Experience Tour, well, you know how to find out. I'll make sure that you have your information for this as well. Is there anything else you want to tell us? Anything else you got going on? Did we cover it all? We covered a lot.
I got a lot going, I guess, but the most important thing is the book. Yeah. But if you want to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me at Wright Mentality, WRIGHTMENTALITY, on all social media, every one of them.
Yes.
You can also go to thewrightmentality.com. That's my website. And I'm happy to talk about anything that you'd like to about emotional intelligence, and I'm very excited about it. But if you want to have an actual EQ assessment for free, I do that as well. You can actually text EQ now, EQNOW, to 630-345-4212, and you will be able to take a free assessment that'll give you an idea of what you are and where you are with your emotional intelligence.
Awesome. Take him up on that. That's a first step. That's a tool that's going to provide you with some information that you're going to be able to use to get smarter and to get better, all right, in this area. Marcus, thank you so much for being here, my friend. I appreciate you so much. This has been great. We have to do it more often.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have to do it more often. We have to sit down. I'll make sure to bring him back so he can tell you what's coming up next. But, of course, we're going to make sure to have all this information in the podcast notes so you'll be able to connect with him. So we're going to do it again, all right?
Ma'am.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So listen, thank you guys for listening in. Make sure that you stay tuned because we have plenty of episodes coming up in this new season where we're talking to some phenomenal guests. And until we meet again, make sure that you go out and be authentically yourself. You are the best version of you out there. Your imprint is unique to you. Touch something, make a difference for you and for the people around you. Make things better, all right? And until we meet again, make sure that you be well. Take care.
The Loft.
Hello and welcome to The Loft. Today's guest was none other than Marcus A. Wright of the Wright Mentality. He is the CEO of the Wright Mentality, which deals with emotional intelligence. He's also the COO of the Leadership Experience Tour. He has lots going on, of course. He talked about a book that's coming up. He talked about his show, What's Fair, What's Right. At least that's the title this week. You know, the name's been going back and forth a bit. He also has said that he is willing to give you a free EQ test. And we're going to be sure to include information on how you can acquire that in the podcast notes. Definitely connect with him. He has a lot going on in the emotional intelligence arena. He is also doing training at major corporations under the same topic, and it is something that we all need to be cognizant of, something that we all need to plug into. Be sure to connect with him. And that's it.
Okay, we've reached the end of the episode. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen. As you catch the elevator down, if you feel so inclined, rate, review, subscribe, and share with a friend. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember, every day is a new opportunity, and it's never too late to level up.
Level up to your dream.